So here I have upon a young entrepreneur, Mr. Krittik, who would be addressing to you the pain of social rejection.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Krittik and I'm an 8th grader from Hyderabad. Today, I'm going to talk about the pain of social rejection and how you can deal with it. But first off, what is social rejection? Social rejection is when a person is deliberately outed, excluded from social interactions or a social relationship. Most people have probably experienced this at one point or the other. Like me, I've experienced it myself. For example, even though both my sister and I have common friends, she often gets invited to more birthday parties than myself. I used to feel bad initially, like, boo-hoo. But I've learned to manage it. But no, trust me. And similarly, during family get-togethers, I used to feel so isolated, like, because I wasn't able to speak as fluently or understand as fluently in Telugu as my relatives. As for Mr. Banan Prakash, who asked the question earlier, whether I could be this good in Telugu as I am in English, kunchum Telugu matlab. My sister can talk to her friends on the phone for hours, but I, on the other hand, can't think of what to talk. As well, I prefer to talk in person. And thus, that's why she was able to keep in touch with much more friends than I did during the lockdown. But now, let's get on to the topic. Let's stop dissing my sister, okay? Even though it sounds funny, we still have some learning to do. So social rejection can be very painful to the person, depending on how bad it was, the strength of the bond you had with those people at the time, and your emotional capacity to just deal with it. So depending on the type of social rejection and how long it took, one can experience just, sounds like, boo-hoo, too bad. But then there's just severe depression. You feel so bad, you may self-harm. However, with a bit of self-reflection, open communication, and help from people who care about you, like your friend, your parents, maybe your siblings, or your family, you can just get over social rejection, and maybe you can learn from it and prevent it from happening in the future. Now back to dissing my sister. For example, when I was not getting invited to my sister's friends' birthday parties, I did a little self-reflection and realized that even though we were friends, we had very little in common. To test my theory, I invited myself, mostly I just crossed the parties. Only to realize I was bored to bits. And even the cake was made of chocolate, and let me tell you, I hate chocolate frosting. So then I realized my sister's friends were actually doing me a favor by not inviting me. This way I wouldn't have to suffer through the let's do makeovers. Similarly, in the family gatherings, I have tried to learn just kunchum Telugu, so I can talk a little, or at least understand what they're saying, understand the context, and maybe some of the content. This way, they didn't feel like I wasn't talking to them because I hated them, like, oh, you're such a bad cousin. But no, it's just that I didn't have a language barrier. I was suffering with the language barrier. And when I told them that, we were able to accept it, and we compromised. Speaking in a mix of Telugu and English. So, as I said here, so when feeling rejected, do communicate honestly. It may help. If you just lie, you may get in trouble, or you just suffer forever. But back to the topic. When you feel rejected, think about why it happened. Why do we think about mistakes? It's in the past, right? No, you may make that mistake in the future. Did I tease my friends? Did I talk to them in any way that made them feel hurt? Was any of this my fault? Now, here's another story, but this one involves me. It's not dissing my sister at all. When I was in 5th grade, a classmate was troubling me. Basically, we like to prank each other and all that. I would constantly find ways to pay him back, and it went on for a good amount of time. It got very frustrating and very irritating to the both of us. And one time, I just stopped talking to him. We were just constantly trying to irritate each other. But then I thought, maybe there's another way to this. So I actually talked to him, and he told me I had actually pranked him, which I didn't remember at all, like I had amnesia. And we were able to reconcile. We made up, and we became friends again. So do make sure that you are not the cause of it. Who knows, maybe it could be karma, a domino effect, or it could have been the cause of someone else. And many times, even though we may feel rejected, the fact is, maybe you just didn't fit in with your friends. Maybe you like drama, they like science. They will talk about, quantum mechanics, microbiology. But all you could think about was Shakespearean plays like Macbeth or Hamlet. And here's an example. I love technology. I love sciences. Anyone who hates that would hate me. Just like how I wouldn't know how to talk to someone who loves stuff like Korean dramas, Korean pop, or jewelry, fashion design, and all these kinds of dresses or shopping. So don't try and fit into a group you don't have anything in common with. Don't shove her time key, your time and effort key into the completely differently shaped lock. Your key is designed for your interests. That lock doesn't fit the key, so it won't unlock, unlocking the full potential of bonds and friendship. You could look at other friend groups. If you like tech, you could look at science-based groups. Quantum mechanics, teleportation, faster than light travel. All of this you're interested in? Join a technology group. Though, don't waste your time or patience just talking to someone who doesn't understand you or doesn't know any of your interests. Well, though, there's still one exception. Despite your best efforts, some people may make you feel socially rejected, and it would be none of your fault. Then you need to have self-confidence, self-love, and respect, as well as self-esteem. Of course, we can't forget that. And maybe you need to walk away or find a better corner. You could find it anywhere. This school district, this classroom, this planet, this universe. Don't worry, you have plenty of space in the universe. It's literally 95 billion light years. Social structure and support is actually quite good. It can lift you up. It can make you feel good. It can encourage you to push yourself. Why doesn't everyone have a good team? Everyone has friends. They push you up. They can support you. They could help you achieve your dreams. And when the chips are down, they wouldn't just walk away like, oh no, here's this successful guy. I'm gonna be friends with him. Instead, no, I really like this guy. He's great. He's my best friend. We share so much in common. I'm gonna stay with him. Just because the other guy's, I don't know, rich, or super handsome, whatever. This guy is my friend, and I'll stay with him. So, to my dear parents, my dear sister, and to the panelists that have spoke here today, and to all of the lovely audience here, don't let social rejection stop you from doing and being your absolute best. Don't let it just cram you down like a hydraulic ram on a scrap car. Push back. You don't need to be crushed. You could get out of the crusher. Okay, maybe you could just get the car and drive out. Unless you didn't have the keys, then you have to hardwire it. So what I am trying to say is, even though social rejection can be really bad, it can be really hurtful, and it can be really harmful. Don't let it harm you. There are other fish in the sea. There's always people you can make friends with. There's always those people who will always love you. And there are people who will always support you no matter what. So don't let social rejection crush you into this massive depression and sadness. Push back with your confidence, your esteem, and your passion. Thank you all for listening to me today.